My name is Jenny Anchondo, and I am here as your host and your moderator and the person that you can go to if you have any questions throughout the session. So if you are new to this session, let me just quickly kind of lay the groundwork for how this is going to work. I'm going to introduce our speaker, then she's going to give a wonderful presentation. The topic today is comprehending beneficial ownership information reports, BOI. I have to be honest with you. I did not know what this meant. I do not know what this means, but thankfully we have somebody here who's going to help us. And once I asked her to break it down before this session, I was like, okay, now I understand what you do. And I think this is going to be really helpful for a lot of you here on the call. She's going to give her presentation, and then on the back end, we will have time for you to ask questions. So Sandra Portales is a visionary entrepreneur. She founded a company called Tax and Business Services LLC. What she realized was that there was really a more need for information among Hispanics on how to grow a business. And this has just been her lifelong dream. And she's doing it day in and day out. She actually grew up in Mexico and arrived to the United States only having Spanish speaking skills. And I think that's super relatable for a lot of people on this call, either for you or perhaps a generation ahead of you. This might have seemed like a big disadvantage for her, but she saw it as an opportunity to better serve her community. So she was really determined. She embarked upon this journey. She got a really robust education. She holds a bachelor's degree in accounting from Texas A&M International University, and then a master's in business with a concentration in accounting from the University of Dallas. So she and I are both in North Texas, but I know many of you will be watching from all over the country. Through her journey, she realized the importance of accurate information and the support of a team of professionals. So that's why she decided to start this business. This is how it's evolved to really become a service project. She does presentations like this all the time on various different topics. But throughout her career, she has established nonprofit organizations. So she has that heart for giving back and that heart for truly helping people. She exemplifies resilience, determination, and deep-seated commitment to community empowerment. I could go on and on about her accomplishments and her passion, but I think her presentation will probably speak for itself. So now I transition from introducing Sandra to becoming a participant myself. I will mute myself, be over here taking notes, and then we will all meet up on the back end of the presentation to have a conversation. All right, Sandra, welcome and take it away.
Okay, thank you, Jenny, for that nice introduction. And yes, today we're going to talk about the comprehending the BOI report. A lot of people have been asking me, what is that, Sandra? So I'm going to put right now on your video the presentation. Just give me 1 second, and let's do it.
Yes, we can see it. We see the full thing, and then we see the toolbar up above. Now we see it full screen. That's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So this is my presentation. A lot of people have been asking me, Sandra, what there is a new rule that is passed this year, 2024, but I'm not sure what it is, it is for. So right here today, we're going to talk about what is the BOI report? Why it was created, the background, and we're going to talk about the objectives of the BOI report. And there are some exemptions. Not everybody has to do it. And also, who is the beneficial owners? And the most important thing is about if you don't do it, what will happen? There's some penalties. So let's get into this presentation. And if you have any questions, like Jenny said, she will ask me later. So a little disclaimer, this is information, its purpose is not legal advice, but it's information that, that I created from several sources. So the beneficial ownership reporting, it refers to the process of identifying and disclosing the ultimate beneficial owners of a legal entities. So basically, the BOI report, it is very important because it's combating financial crimes such as money laundering, terrorism, financial, tax evasions, and also it gives transparency and accountability in corporation structures. And this is very important for me because I work with a lot of small businesses. So a lot of LLCs, small business that are created within the year, they need this report to be done by the end of this year. So it is very important for everybody to know what is the beneficial ownership reporting, because if you don't do it, there is some implications. What is the BOI? The beneficial ownership refers to the individual who ultimately owns or controls a legal entity and enjoys its benefits. Any owner for the LLC, which is 25% or more, they have to create this report. The BOI is a regulatory requirement aimed to uncovering the true owners behind corporate entities to prevent misuse of financial systems or illicit activities. What is happening within previous years, there's been a lot of states, well, several states, that you can create an LLC, but you don't know who is the owner. There is managers in charge of these LLCs, but you don't know who are the owners. So this report is to uncover who are the actual owners or who are the ones that are in charge of taking the decisions. Because, like I said, uh, uh, there's a lot of things that you can do with an LLC to hide money. But with this report, we're able to clear that out and for the government to see who are the owners of this company or this LLC. The way the as it was created because there was not enough transparency on the corporate level. And was the owners of the LLCs, and because international pressure to strengthen anti-money laundering. There is in other countries, they were like, okay, who is the owner for this LLC? Who is the owner for that company? And there was not enough sources to get that information. And a lot of people also create it because they don't want to um, pay the taxes that it needs to be paid. So this board, it was created to do that. So we can identify who is the owner and who owes the money. And so there will be no money laundering. The background, we usually here in the United States create 2 million corporations, LLCs annually. So there is not enough information for like I said, there is not information who is the owners. There's a lot of things that you can do with an LLC. I know there is a state which is I believe it's Wyoming or Wisconsin that you're not required to state who is the owner. So you can just create an LLC and say, okay, this is the manager, and you can hire somebody else that is nothing to do with the business. And you can hire this person and say, okay, I'm just managing I'm just the registered agent for the LLC, but then who is the owner? There is no information out there to declare who is the owner. A lot of people use this so they don't get sued directly, or they get people difficult to get sued because they have a lot of assets. And the other people do it because they don't want to pay taxes. And there's a lot of other people that they do illegal activities. So there's this is the background that why the FinCEN decided to act and do something about it. A lot of people is asking me, Sandra, the IRS is requiring me to do this. No, it's not the IRS. This is a separate department from the government. It's not the IRS. You have to do it with the department or for the FinCEN department. So it's not the IRS. So I just wanted to make that clear. This is a separate entity, but it is with the government. And everybody needs to do it. And like I said, this law has been has been trying to be on the work since 2016. So it's nothing new. It is new for us because right now it's legal, but it has been since 2016 that they have been working on doing this process. So finally it got done. So now on to 2024, everybody has to act on it. Okay, so who files these reports? A lot of people has been asking me. Um, usually all of the LLCs, all of the LLCs that are registered before January 2024, they had to file. And also the new LLCs. The new LLCs have to file, but on this year, the file 2025, they have only 90 days to do this report. For the LLCs that were created on 2024, I'm sorry, on 2023 before 2024, they have until January 1st, 2025. So you still have a whole year to do it. But my recommendation is if you have an LLC, go ahead and do it now because you never know what happened. Because maybe everybody's going to start doing it at the end of the year. You don't never know if you have an accident or something that is going on with your life, or maybe the system is down or anything that happened on that day that you wanted to do the report. So if you already have an LLC, just do it as soon as possible. For the LLCs created on 2025, they have only 30 days to create this report. And it's just once that you have to create this report. And for example, if you are two owners, let's say that you have your mom and your dad and yourself, or three people, you have to, and you want to take your mom out of your LLC. So you have 90 days to do this correction. So as soon as anytime that you do any change, you have to do the report. So it's just once if you're not going to do any change, but if you're going to change address, if you're going to change the person that is in charge of the LLC, of the owner, then you need to do this change as soon as possible. So it is very important for you to pay attention to this because there's a lot of implications, like a lot of penalties. And there's some exemptions. And here is the list that I took out of FinCEN.gov that you can, as you can see. But basically, the exemptions are like big corporations, like all the corporations that are on the stock market. They don't need to do this report. Also, nonprofits, tax exempt entities, 501c3s, they don't have to do it, or large operating companies, more than 20 full-time employees, or more than 5 million annual sales. So these companies, they don't have to do this report. And there's other exemptions, which here is the list: the security reporting issuer, government authority, bank, credit unions. And another important is inactive entities. For example, you have an LLC that has been inactive, like you haven't done anything with that company. So that's one exemption. For example, if this year you decided to close an LLC, you don't have to do it anymore. So check if you qualify for any of these exemptions. And if you have any of these exemptions, you don't need to do it. So but basically, I work with small businesses, one LLC that is just one owner, or two owners, small companies. So basically, all of you, you have to do this report. And I cannot stress more that you do it because you will see right now that the penalties and the fees that they will charge you. And who is the beneficial owner? So basically, the FinCEN says that the beneficial owner owns or controls at least 25% of the company. And it has a substantial control over the company. For example, let's say about this family, mother, father, and son. So the son is 80%. The father is, let's say the son is 70%, the father is 25%, and the mother is 5%. So who is not the beneficial owner? The mother, because it's 5%. So we don't need to include her on this report, but all of the other people we have to include. Anybody that owns at least 25%, they have to be included on this report. So anybody that is also in charge to making decisions. For example, a manager that decides, okay, where to move the money, what to do with the business. So the manager is also, even though that he's not on the LLC papers, he has to be included on the beneficial ownership information report. So pay attention to this because you have to put that information. And what information you must put? Okay, you will have to put the full legal name, the birthday of the person, the current resident street address, and then you will create a FinCEN ID. And after that, you will have that ID that you can use it if you're going to do any other changes in the future. For example, you took your mother out of this LLC, then you already have your FinCEN ID that you can just log in and just take out your mother or your father out of the business if it's not or is already not included on the LLC. But any change that you do with this report, you have to do it through the BOI report. Because, like I said, penalties are high. And here are the penalties. So right now, if, for example, you don't do the BOI report by January 1st, 2025, you will have to pay $500 each day, up to $10,000. Or you can go to jail for 2 years. So these type of penalties and fines are very high and are very very delicate. Like I said, you can get into jail 2 years just for not doing this report. So if you do an LLC, if you have an LLC, you have like a company, please do this report. Either you can do it, go with a lawyer to do it, or I've been able to do it, but if I put something wrong, or if I give wrong information, even myself or the lawyer or the person that's doing this report can get in trouble for this, can get fines, can get penalties, and can also get to go to jail. So whoever is doing this for you, or if you're doing it, make sure that you don't have anything to do that day or that moment where you're preparing this report, because like I said, there is serious implication of you getting to jail or getting fined or getting this type of uh, penalties for that LLC. And there's fines that can go up to 250,000. Like you can go to jail up to 5 years. because you're violating the law of the US law. And if you're involved in illegal activities, it can be 100,000 that you will have to pay in a 12-month period, or you can get up to 500,000 that you can pay, or up to 10 years in prison. So try to do this with somebody that can take care of this, because it's very, very high, all these penalties. And I would not like to see everybody getting in trouble just for getting to this kind of report that is not that difficult to do, or to give that information to the FinCEN. So where to do the report? Right here on fincen.gov/BOI. And you just click where it says BOI, Beneficial Ownership Information System. You can click there, and then they will ask you information about your business. So make sure whenever you get into, and if you want to do it yourself, get the information for your business and make sure that you're focused and prepared to do it. They will ask you for IDs. They will ask you for your company information, the EIN number, all the information about the business. So, and then they will give you the FinCEN ID. So you can do it for the next year. So the Financial Crime Enforcement Network, that's what is FinCEN. And it is a government bureau that maintains a network whose goal is to prevention and punish criminal network that participate in money laundering and other financial crimes. So this is what it is, the fince.gov. So there is a lot of places that they say that you can do. Don't give information to other places that are not like the government. And in conclusion, the beneficial ownership information report is vital to comply with the regulatory requirements to combat crime. So, like I said, this BOI report has been on the work since 2016. And right now, 2024 is finally passed. So this year you have to do it. Like I said, we don't want for anybody to get penalized. If you create an LLC this year, you have 90 days. So as soon as you create an LLC, make sure you do it right away, because sometimes we forget things and then we did our LLC and that's it. No, do the BOI report with the LLC right away. And you have 90 days. And next year, if you create an LLC, you have 30 days. Any changes that you do to your LLC, address change, your change the owner, change name because you got married, do the change, because we don't want to get in trouble or get penalized because you didn't make that correction with the FinCEN. So again, FinCEN is a different department. It's not the IRS. So we haven't received any letters right now. Nobody knows. Like, we have seen on the laws and the information out there, because like Jenny said, like she didn't even knew what it was, but it's already in place for all the businesses. So if you know somebody that has an LLC, let them know that they have to do this report, because the FinCEN haven't sent any letters to anyone. They are just letting know by presentations or information about the law out there. But yeah, I haven't seen, today that I'm doing taxes for some of my clients, they don't even know. So, you know, people, let them know about this rule because it's very important for every small business to do it so they don't get this kind of fines for this stuff. Jenny?
All right, Sandra, thank you so much. Okay, hold on that screen. Hold on
Mm-hmm.
that screen because listen, if somebody is here watching and they are thinking, okay, I've got some more questions about this, and you forget to answer them today, write down her information. She was nice enough to put up her email address, her website, even her phone number. Sandra is being super generous. So take a screenshot of that, type it up, write it down, however you're taking notes. Then take it down because it's one of those things where you might be like getting up to start work tomorrow and you're thinking, oh, wait. I wanted to ask her something about that. So she shared the information. So leave that up on the screen for just a few more seconds here as people, sort of get in here and get that information. All right, this report. Yes, I was honest and upfront, like, hey, this is something I do not know about. And I do these sessions every week. So I feel like I've gotten a little mini business degree by hosting these sessions and learning so much. But my understanding again, and I know I'm going to ask you some stuff that you went over, but really for points of clarification, because when we have something that we do every year, like income taxes, for example, we all kind of like know the drill. This is something that's new, right? I mean, if somebody started a business years ago, they wouldn't have had to do this, correct?
Right. It's new. This just started this year.
And what's the point of this? Is it just to keep everybody legitimate and on the up and up?
Yes. Yes. Like, for example, there's been a lot of money laundering from other countries. So with this, it will be more clear who are the owners, who is doing illicit stuff.
Okay. Okay, well, everybody who's watching this is on the up and up. So now it's just like one more thing for them to have to check off. How would somebody know that they needed to do this report? If they hadn't watched your seminar right now, how would they know if they were starting a business?
Oh, it has been all over the news, but yeah, like I haven't received any letters stating that you have to do it. But no, I get like these notifications of education because I do taxes and business taxes, so I get these seminars and all of that in regards to these reports, and then yeah, on the news on Google, but I search on it because um yeah, I didn't get any letters or anything. So that's why I'm saying like it's good for people if they don't know anything about the business to go ahead and find somebody to ask them or find out more information in regards to this.
Right. I mean, it's always good to be an informed citizen, right? It's always good to be informed about whatever you're doing, but sometimes I think it can be overwhelming. And this is like one more thing. So people are really lucky that they're able to be here with you today to, learn more about it. Again, point of clarification. You you do the form once, like for an already established business, they do the form once and then they never have to do it again, right? Oh, unless
They
something
don't.
changes.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, if something changes, like if you remove an owner or if you change the address, then you have to do the change um, before, like in 90 days. They give you 90 days to do it.
But right now, everybody has to have it done by when? It's
Everybody has to do it. If you did your business, if you have an LLC before January 1st, 2024, you have to do it before January 1st, 2025. But if you create a business this year, you have 90 days to do this report.
so get on it if you haven't already, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Like I said, whoever is creating your LLC should create either yourself do the report or get a lawyer or get somebody to help you with this report to do it because it's very delicate. You see, people can do it online, but just make sure that you take it as very important thing to do and be very concentrated to do it so you don't have anything that you forgot to input or made a mistake, things
Okay.
like that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So because you could like inadvertently put something incorrect and then you could be flagged by, like making it seem like you're doing something fraudulent when you're not. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And you see, you can even go to jail if you don't do this type of kind of
I
report
know.
correct.
Sandra, I couldn't believe when you said that. I was like, wow, this is super serious, very, very, serious. The penalties, like I thought when you first said there were penalties, I was thinking maybe it was going to be like a little fine or something, but these are massive, and it could just be because of is there any grace? Have you heard, is there any grace if it's an accident, if it's like I accidentally forgot to put that grandma was an owner or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's grace on that. Yeah, like for example, there's a little mistake. Okay, you just have to show it that it was a mistake because of that, and then um, they can remove that penalty.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to work whenever it comes time that a lot of people didn't file this report on
Right.
time.
No, for sure. Okay, with this sort of thing, is this something that you do in your business? Like, can somebody book you to do this for them?
Yes, we can definitely do it. But we need to be like in contact with that person like every year because if anything changes, also like it's also my responsibility.
Could you get fined too?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So you're like, yes, stay in touch. Don't say that I'm the one filing it and then step aside. Okay, if anybody has any other questions about this BOI report, please do post them in the chat. You can send it to me directly or privately. Let me know and we can continue the discussion on that. But I also want to go back to you starting your own business and your own story. I would love to chat a little bit more about that. When I introduced you, there were some really interesting points that I think could be inspirational for the people who are watching. So, how old were you when you came to the US, and what kind of circumstances were you dealing with then?
Yes, I came whenever I was around 13 years old, 13, 14 years old. And yeah, my father passed away. So that's whenever we came to the United States. And then going to school with no uh, knowledge of English. So it was kind of difficult, but try my best and then took care of my family when I was 16 and then going to school and I don't know.
Wow. Okay, so you came here, took care of your family, and then were you always a numbers gal when you were younger? You're obviously in accounting now. Did you always lean toward like that math and numbers sort of when you were getting your education?
Yes, the thing is that I didn't know English. So the only thing that I knew was math numbers. So I was good at numbers. So at school, I always got A's because in Mexico, I don't know if for me, it was more advanced than here in the United States, that material. So I was really good at math. Oh, and I will ace every single uh, problem on that end. So for me, it was math. Like, okay, let's do it. And then I got an internship and started working on the accounting department. And at 16 years old, because I graduated whenever I was 16 years old. And then after that, that gave me the roadmap to what I wanted to do, which was accounting. And also, my passion is to help people. So I was like, what else can I do in regards to that? So accounting and math numbers.
Wait, you graduated when you were 16?
Yes.
That was only like 10 years after you got here. 10, 11, 12 years after you got here. That's incredible.
Yes, I graduated the high school. Yes, I graduated at 16. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So you came here not knowing the language, then realized, okay, but numbers are universal. And so it sounds like the math that you were doing in Mexico was more advanced than our math here.
Yes.
So you were
Yes.
like, oh, this is old hat, no big deal. Like, I know how to do this. I can, kind of run circles around you guys when it comes to numbers. Okay, so then what about college? How did you go about applying for college, getting into college, paying for college, all of those different things to be able to start your business?
Yes. So I didn't like, for example, I didn't have like too much mentors. I used to do my internship in an accounting department, and it was really nice. And I had a mentor there who was a private investigator because we were like on the public accountant in the city of Laredo. And then I was like, he will tell me, Sandra, what do you want to do whenever you grow up? I'm like, I don't know, I can do everything. And he will tell me, okay, apply for the police department because they're hiring. And I applied for it. And I was like, okay, I applied for it, but I didn't pass. And then he told me, but are you ready whenever to tell the bad news to people? And I'm like, what bad news? Like, yeah, because if you're a police, you have to tell the parents that maybe something happened to their son. Are you ready? I'm like, no, I don't think I can be a police officer. So there, my mom, I used to like to travel a lot, to drive far and just drive. And my mom will tell me, Sandra, why you don't want to be like a truck driver? That would be a good thing for you to do. And I'm like, oh, mommy, that's good, but cheating her, like, she would tell me like to do that. I'm like, mommy, you don't want anything better for me? And she's like, no, but truck driver is good. And I'm like, yeah, but I think I want to go to school to do something else. And then that's when I decided to continue with the accounting because I like numbers. And then I started going to school, working full time, and having two jobs because by that time, like my dad passed away, so I was taking care of my mom and my sister, and then just keep on going. Yeah.
I'm thoroughly impressed that you had the wherewithal to do that, right? To deal with the grief of losing your dad, moving to a new place, taking care of your family. It's really a lot for a young teenager to do. So I just commend you so much. Um, and I love what you shared about your mom had, and honestly, it was a very good idea by your mom because you can
Yes.
earn really good money doing truck driving, right? Really steady work, consistent work. It's not going anywhere. But you kind of thought, okay, I've got something else that's better suited to my skill set. So then when it came to college, had anybody in your family ever gone to college in the United States before?
No, nobody has been going to college, so I was like, okay, let's do it. I need to finish it. I like to be consistent. If I do something, I need to finish it. So I was like, okay, let's finish college. So I finished college, I graduated, and then I have my degree in accounting. And after that, I moved here to Dallas, Texas, and then I work with a company, and I was okay. So in the accounting department, and then I decided to get my master's degree, and then after that, I always had like a dream, a goal, like okay, I have seen a lot of people doing businesses, but they didn't know how to do it and they didn't know where to go. And I was like, I like to help people. So I was like, okay, this is like something that I can do, that I like to do. And besides, I get paid. So that would be great. And then I will talk with my people that work with me. I used to be an accountant in a management company, and I will tell them, hey, uh, one day I will have my business. And then they will laugh at me and they were like, Sandra, if you have a business, hire me. Hire me whenever you have your business. But they were laughing. And I was like, no, I don't think I will hire you now that I have my business because you were just making fun of me and didn't thought that I really could do it. And yeah, like I've been on business since 2016. So we are just trying to work as much as possible and help people by helping people, educating them, giving them information that is accurate and done and trying to help them with their business and let them know how important it is for you to do your books, for you to do the accounting, to understand the numbers. It's not just, I don't know how much did I did at the end of the year, but hey, you could have planned, you could have do something, you could have um, uh, grow your business because everything is about the numbers on a business. If you're not doing enough money, I have told some of my clients, might as well just work for somebody else because your wife is unhappy, you're unhappy, you're not making enough money, you're making ends meet. So if you don't put and you're putting a lot of effort, so I guess maybe it's better for you to work for somebody else and maybe later on, whenever you're in a better situation, get back on a business, plan it better, continue doing this. But yeah, with the numbers, they don't lie. So they tell you exactly how is your business, what can you do, what cannot you do. Um, some people they just do because it's their passion, but sometimes they're suffering and they're making people suffer around them.
I love what you said about when people said, "Oh, when you have your business, hire me," how they were joking about that. You know, sometimes the people closest to you are the least supportive, and it's an interesting phenomenon that happens with the people that have known you for a long time. They think, "Oh, you know, old Jenny, old Sandra, they're just like the rest of us." But when you elevate yourself and you take it to the next level, it can really shock people. And I am glad that you ignored the naysayers and continued to go and start your business and build your business. I want you to explain to everybody what you actually do in your business because you and I are cut from completely different cloth. Like, I was struggling to hold on to what you were saying. I come from a journalism background, so words are my thing, not numbers. And something that you do is somebody like me would go to because it's not a skill set that I have. So explain all the different avenues that you have because you really do a lot of different things.
Yes, here in Qualitex, we do bookkeeping, we do taxes, business and personals. We also do payroll, also set up LLCs. And also we're doing right now helping people if they want to do a restaurant or food truck, we help them with their permits. We go with them with the city that they are in and help them get the permits because we have somebody in-house that has 13 years in experience. So a lot of on our Hispanic community, there's a lot of people that are scared to go to the city, talk, or they don't know the language. So we help them on that manner so they can be able to get their dream come true because a lot of people dream to have like a restaurant or dream to have a food truck and then we do that. We help them to get the permits, get the LLC going, and everything that has to do with the business.
That's awesome because it's kind of the same thing. Like somebody might have a talent for cooking, but they may not necessarily understand how to do their BOI report or how to create an LLC, that sort of thing. When you're working with somebody, do they pay you, is it like a one-time flat fee? Is it by the hour? Is it a percentage? How does that work?
We have different fees for different services. It just depends on what kind of service they want to have. And on the bookkeeping, it's just depending on how long do we take or how many transactions they have on their statements of the bank.
Okay, so it just kind of depends person to person. When you're seeing somebody, we have a lot of people that hop on these that are aspiring business owners or maybe new business owners. When you see somebody who's like thinking, okay, I want to, let's say it's a food truck, and I come in and I see Sandra, I want to open a food truck. I make these really incredible cupcakes and I want to have a cupcake food truck. I have the truck and I have my skills. What do I do next? What do you tell me to do next?
Yes, first of all, I recommend them to do an LLC because an LLC gives you protection because we're in the like on United States, which is everybody gets sued. So a limited liability company, it separates you what is personal and what is business because there is so if somebody sue you because probably, I don't know, we're humans, and you put something on their meat that it wasn't appropriate, then they will sue you. Then if you have an LLC, it will stop it at the business side. But if you don't have an LLC, you have a DBA, then it goes with all your personal stuff, your house, your bank, everything. So an LLC, that's the way to go if you are a restaurant. That I recommend it uh, for them to do that first. And after the LLC is done, then we go with the permits. And then after the permits are done, is just get get all the operating um, uh, expenses and get working right.
Now, when somebody works with you and they're thinking, okay, I want to like I'm just kind of a one woman show. I'm going to have one part-time employee, and they think I can do my taxes on my own. What do you say to them? Can people usually do that, or do they usually need to hire somebody like you?
Okay, they can do it by themselves, but my recommendation is to have somebody expert to do it. Because at the beginning of the year, of the business, you have a lot of expenses that you incur and you don't know that it can be deductible. There's a lot of people that come here, can I deduct this? Can I deduct that? Like I had people that went through their savings and they were putting it back to the business and they took it as an income, but no, that saving account is already been taxed before. So you don't need to put that money as an income. You need to put it as you're going to pay it back as a loan, like a loan to yourself. Or it just depends. If you wanted to put it as a capital, you put it as a capital, but don't double tax. Or there's things that you can deduct. Like, for example, if you're starting a business and you do a seminar or you go travel to see information in regards to the business, there's things that you can deduct. You can deduct that. You cannot deduct it maybe on that year because you didn't do any income, but you can depreciate, amortize it for the next couple of years whenever the business is going. So there's a lot of things that you can do whenever you're opening a business. So make sure that you get that information uh, in regards to your business and go to an expert.
Yeah, I almost wonder if somebody was, really on a tight budget, which listen, most of us that start small businesses, most of us are. Rarely is somebody saying, I've got a huge budget for my business or whatever. Might it make sense to work with a professional at the beginning to get everything set and then you can try doing it on your own, or like as things simplify, or what do you think?
Yeah, you can do that. At the beginning, go with an expert and make it clear what do you want, what can you do, what can you deduct. And from there, if you think you're confident enough or you make enough research that you think you can do it, do it, but make sure that you have every receipt. Like I said, there's a lot of people that told me, "Do I have to have the receipt?" I'm like, it just depends on the auditor that you like. In case you get audit, we don't know what kind of auditor you get. So there's some auditors are lenient and some auditors are not lenient at all. And some auditors, they actually want to see the receipts. So some people have told me, Sandra, but I have it on my bank account. Yes, but it is QT, but you don't know in QT they also sell other stuff. They just don't sell gas. They sell other stuff. So it just depends on the auditor that you take, that you have. If you have an audit, that's what will go. He will go and do his audit. So we don't know. So for best practice, get receipts and take a picture or save it in the drive or save it somewhere because you don't know what kind of people you will get in case you get audit.
Yikes. I was totally thinking that receipts worked. Anybody else? Anybody else that's watching, were you thinking, or not receipts, but the credit card statements? Like it's obvious, but you're right. QT, I could have gone in and like bought myself a bunch of Slurpees and then said that it was a 7-Eleven charge for gas, but it was actually just me eating Slurpees every day that were not a business expense. Okay, well, that
Even
is
the
some,
lotto from QT.
yes. Exactly. Yeah, I keep getting the lotto. Yeah, okay, well, that's a really good tip. What is one of the biggest mistakes that you see people make, new business owners that are just coming in and getting started? What's the biggest thing when somebody makes it to you and you say, hold on, stop, I need to turn you around or get you in the right direction? What's the biggest mistake that you see?
Okay, so for the expenses, a lot of people they come up with um like make up numbers. I'm like, no, you have to make sure that they're valid numbers. That they're like I said, okay, so how many mile, for example, mileage, you can get an deduction for mileage. So there is a lot of people that, okay, I did 10,000 mileage last year on business expense. And that's like a red flag for the IRS. How exactly you end up at the end of the year with 10,000? Like, like, no, that's like a makeup number. Like, I don't like, okay, like I'm going to stop at 10,000 because that's the magic number. No, it shouldn't be like 10,000. I have seen a lot of people that they make up numbers and they just put 00, well, 600, 300, 400. I'm like, you're making up these numbers. No, it has to be like a real number. And usually when it's mileage, it doesn't end up with 000.
Because they're just sort of rounding up, like it needs to be exact.
Yes.
How do you recommend that people track that?
There's some applications. There's Mile IQ that is really good that you can keep track of. For example, you're in the business. Okay, I'm going to do this mileage because I'm going to purchase materials. From there to there, you can click on the app and it keeps track of it. Another thing that you can do is, for example, if it is just the truck just for the business, you can take a picture at the beginning of the year of the of the of the mileage, and at the end of the year, you can take another picture and just deduct it, and you have your mileage for that year.
Okay, but you need to keep
Subtract.
track of it like every day. Like I'm picturing back in the day, I used to have a business where I would drive. This is like many, many years ago. So I would keep like a folder like this and write it down. But now there's apps. That was like pre-smart. I mean, there were probably smartphones, but I didn't have one. So now you can just put it in the smartphone, right? Put it in the app, and then
Yes,
it'll keep
so
track of it.
easy. Yes.
And then do we submit that to our accountant?
Yes, you can give the summary to your accountant so they can go ahead and deduct it if you have a business. Mhm.
What do you do if somebody just comes to you like a hot mess? Like they're coming to you and their stuff's all over the place. They haven't saved a receipt. They say, "Oh, I don't know. I drove like anywhere from 10 to 200 miles." Like, What do you do when they come to you and want you to do their taxes?
Yeah, it's like we will see, like maybe get them to maybe better put the gas mileage, get the gas instead of the mileage, because they can keep maybe say, okay, this is how much I spent by week, and then we will deduct it. But it's a possibility in case of an audit that they can deny it because he don't has a proof of that expense. But I
Okay.
make it clear, like if the what he's getting into, like if something happens, you don't have the receipts, maybe the IRS will not consider them.
Okay, you guys, save your receipts, your real receipts. Don't forget. Sandra, one last thing, going right back to that initial topic that we were talking about with those BOI reports. What's the first like point of contact? Where does somebody go to actually do this report?
Okay. Yes, you can go to the FinCEN.gov/BOI.
Okay.
Yes, you can
Okay.
do it there and then click on the BOI report. If you
Okay.
go to FinCEN.gov, you just click on BOI,
Okay.
and there they will give you like also they have the instructions how to do it. So you can go ahead and check it out and read about it, get that information directly from the source.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. You have been incredible. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you so much, Sandra. Appreciate your time today.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Our pleasure. So don't forget, these webinars come out each and every week. You guys, sarah-national.org. The website is actually up in the chat. Couple things for you to save the date for. First of all, Sarah STEM Day. This is always a huge event. It goes from 11 to 2 on April 5th. So this is actually a virtual event, 11 to 2 Central Standard Time. Jose Hernandez, former NASA astronaut, is going to be there with you. So super, super VIP event. You can register on the Sarah website. Again, that's listed in the chat bar there. So but I just said it out loud if you're catching this on the replay and don't have the chat bar with you. But please do save the date. This is always a really, really fun event. And again, it's virtual. So even if you're not in Texas, where we happen to be, you can join in. Also, you know what else we have? The 60th annual conference. Yes, we look forward to this. It's also happening in North Texas. I've been telling you about it every single week, week after week. So again, information for that at sarah-national.org. So you can register for the 60th annual conference. You can be there for Sarah STEM Day. You can do the whole thing. And by the way, the conference is on the 4th, STEM Day on the 5th. So it's one day right after the other, and just, you know, a really full and abundant set of resources for everybody. All right, everybody, I look forward to seeing you next week and each and every week. And our thanks again to Sandra. Bye-bye.